No. Please. No.
Ah, and here we go.
They are coming. They are coming back. No. 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 Please don't. There's no other way.
Bend us.
So? You mean you heard the voices? What are you, some kind of medium? Pentus? I don't know, but...
That was the fisherman, don't you remember? The one who collaborated with the brigands and was killed when he tried to resist the arrest.
Ah, yes, of course. And his companion drowned herself afterwards. Poor thing. But I don't understand. What, by the righteous path, does that have to do with Matilda's sickness? Something tells you this, I see. If the circumstances were any different, I would take you for a quack, trying to win my favor. But you seem honest, and I shouldn't leave anything untested. Meldar, where was that fisherman's house again?
I have a map.
Then give it to her.
Of course, brother.
If Pentus really has anything to do with this, you should take a look at his old house. It should be abandoned. And now excuse me, both of you. I need some time for myself.
Here, this is the map. His house isn't far from the village, but you should be careful nonetheless. I don't need to tell you that the animals have grown savage recently. This red madness, or whatever they call it. As I said, he was a traitor. He collaborated with the brigands on the Penny Road. He played innocent, but eventually the guards found out and tried to arrest him. Well, as it happened, he tried to play Lorem Waterblade and attacked them, which didn't go well for him. His wife couldn't cope with that, so she took her life. A tragic story, but it was his choice. That's life. This Holy Order, by the gods, you really do have Outlander written all over your face. But no, I am not. I have, as all the magically gifted have, passed the walk to the water, but I didn't qualify to become a keeper or a magister. And to be honest, I didn't want to either. A free Arcanist, as are many others. But with all due respect, I think we should save the talk for later. Matilda's condition gets worse by the minute.
Greetings.
Madame?
Who are you? Yarrow, this is about his death, isn't it? The rampage. Of course, who hasn't? Yarrow was one of us, after all. It is terrible. Simply terrible. You want to hear an old man's opinion, though? I always expected that something like this would happen. Malthus, forgive me for talking about a keeper like that, but it's the truth. Hard to explain, really. Come on, let's find somewhere to sit. It'll be easier to talk that way. Well, Yarrow, that's quite a subject, you know. You were right when you said we were best friends. Our fathers knew each other. For as long as I can remember, Yarrow and I were getting into trouble together. At least, until his mother died. No. Bandits killed her in broad daylight on Penny Road. Today these incidents are common, but not back then. The road was considered safe. Very safe. She was on her way to Ark, accompanied by 3 other women, and they were set upon at the pass. None of them survived. Yarrow was shattered. I think the worst part was how his father went downhill after his wife's death. The fishery decayed, and the poor guy filled his days with boozing and sleeping. It changed Yarrow forever. Well, that's a good question. On the one hand, he became a man, despite his tender age. On the other hand, something inside him woke up, so to speak. A desire to make more of his life. Old Mother Jenica noticed it and took him under her wing. He learned how to read and write, and soon he knew all the holy verses by heart. When he didn't have to help his drunken father, he helped in the village as much as he could. Indeed, that's one way to look at it. It wasn't long before he was the jewel of the village, the striving young fisherman destined for great things, even though he was only on the path of a manufacturer. And then the inevitable happened. A keeper of the order came to Riverville to see the prodigy with his own eyes. And behold, in addition to Yarrow's ingenuity, he also had a slumbering magical talent. The keeper took him away, and a few months later, he started his novitiate. Since then, I've only seen him once or twice, as he rarely visited Riverville. I don't think he ever noticed how much that hurt me. If one of the manufacturers makes it to Sergeant of the Guard, it's reason enough for a bard song. He must have been the first novice in centuries who was not of the sublime path. So yes, it is uncommon. More than that. Oh, it's hard to explain. I believe it was the way he was talking about his grand plans. How he wanted to make the world a better place, to become the greatest keeper since Loram Waterblade. Underneath all this, there was an anger. An anger mixed with deep grief and disappointment. I don't think he was aware of it because he drew all his strength from that anger. The strength to do all this, to learn and to work day and night, but it frightened me, like the Blue Death. It slumbers inside the pathless mage who believes he can master magic without the Order's help. At first, it grants power, but then, one day, it bursts out in an unholy wave of destruction, turning him into one of the monsters in the old songs. Anyway, I'm just an old man. What do I know about these matters? Now let me go to sleep, my dame. All these memories are making me weary. Yes, of course.